Bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about
comic books, costumes, facts,
Boots.
and other stuff.
In this week's issue, Aquaman and Namor. What's the difference?
Welcome into Bros, Foes, and Heroes. I'm your host, Zach, joined as ever by the Robin to my Batman, the Jimmy Olsen to my Superman. I don't know. The ever wonderful Man Wonder, Mr. Mike.
Oh, hi. I didn't see you there.
Oh, wow. It's weird since we're
I hate
honestly
that.
just sitting right across the table from one
All
another.
of those videos where somebody like turns around and goes, oh, hey, I didn't see you come in.
It's so great you bring that up too, because you unknowingly
Really?
have referenced a joke that I'm going to make later in here.
We did not plan that.
We did not plan that at all. And that's what you can expect from this
That's right.
podcast.
That's
a bunch of unplanned things.
Unplanned things.
If you like your podcast to be like strictly follow format,
Nope.
we are not the one for you.
No, we're
Mike,
not.
how you doing?
I'm okay, man. How are you?
Yeah.
I went to the doctor twice yesterday.
How's your week been?
yeah.
Sorry.
I went to the doctor twice yesterday.
For the same thing or different things?
No. So I have this. I'm
Great way to
I
start
don't want
the
to. Well,
podcast.
I don't want to call it a growth because it's not a growth, right? I don't want to call it like a lump because that sounds bad.
Yeah.
But it's a cyst, right? I have this cyst that comes up like every 3 to 5 years. I mean, that's how long it takes for it to come up. But once it comes up, it's on my back.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not talking anything below the equator.
Okay. Well, no, I wasn't. I just.
Yeah, it comes up on my back. It's right here behind my left shoulder, right? And I can, like you're in the shower and you're supposed to feel all over yourself. It's what my mom told me. But
I don't remember my mom ever telling me, make sure to check your back for cysts.
Well, no, my mom just said, make sure you feel all over yourself. And then
I mean, hey, it worked.
those were the dark CPS days. But anyway, I have this thing that pops up every once in a while, right? And it starts very small, but within like 2 weeks, it's gigantic. Like it's like somebody turned on the pus faucet or whatever,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
It just fills up, is what I'm saying, right?
Yeah,
and so
I didn't know we were going
I
this
had to
route.
go get that cut and drained.
Yeah, okay, we're
and
good.
all this stuff yesterday.
I got you.
I've never seen Zach react to something that way. But anyway, I had to have that. That was done yesterday afternoon.
All right.
I was very happy to get it done. It hurt like hell, but it's done. You don't realize how many times you brush your left shoulder getting in and out of your vehicle and things like that, right? It just hurt like hell.
Yeah,
Couldn't sleep on it.
I
Kept me up. It sucked. It's like having a little twin that you didn't absorb in the womb or something.
Except it just hasn't grown teeth yet.
Right. But then the other thing that I'm doing is
so with that, was it one of where it's like you thought everything was gone and it wasn't why you had to go back? Like they had to get more?
No. This was a one and done thing.
Okay.
It was done.
So it is two separate things.
It is two separate things. I have started
You're falling apart on us, Mike.
I've been falling apart for a long time, Zach. But I just keep it together well.
Oh, that's
a lot of duct tape under these clothes.
Nice.
So,
would it be weird if I asked you to take your shirt off then?
Yes, it would.
Okay.
Anyway, the other thing is I'm driving to a city to the south twice a week now.
Okay.
30 minutes away. You know where that's at.
Yeah.
To see a chiropractor / nerve restoration / herbal
do it all
thing. It's like a one-stop shop.
Nice.
Right. It's very expensive, which I didn't like, but it's a 9-month commitment I'm making that I'm going to do this thing twice a week for 9 months because I can't feel my feet, Zach. My feet stopped responding. And so that sucks.
Yeah.
Right? When you can't feel your toes and your feet.
Yeah.
I don't have diabetes. I've been checked for that because that was the first thing I thought, oh my God.
That's good.
I've had a lot of sugar in my body over the years, with a lot of drinking and stuff like that. Yeah. And so I thought, well, I really screwed the pooch on this one, but it's just nerve damage in my feet.
Nerve damage from what?
I don't know.
You like
I
you've lived in this area. I asked for a certain reason. You've never lived in like a cold, frigid area, have you?
No.
Where you decided to walk around barefoot?
No, it's nothing like that. It's years.
Did you forget to pay the mob back money and they just went to town on your feet or something?
Yeah, that's where they started. It's just years of living incorrectly and doing things that I shouldn't do. You know.
Well, I think we can all relate to that.
Well, yeah, maybe, but I
didn't mean that.
No, I'm just saying I've lived a life.
Well,
I've lived a life. I've done a lot of things.
Well, that's good.
And so, in this case, it's not, but okay. But anyway, I have to go twice a week for that. So I've made this huge medical commitment at this point. So when you ask how my week was, there you go.
I'll make sure not to ask next
How was
week.
your week, Zach?
I didn't go to the doctor.
Good. That's great.
Yeah.
That's one.
Maybe I
week.
needed to. No. One of us or just 1 week?
No,
Neither
this
of
is
us
1
have
week.
been.
Yeah, I know.
We sound like just like the
Yeah.
frailest.
Yeah. How's the weather up there? Yeah, that kind of thing. I told my wife, had that big birthday party.
Yeah.
And she turned 50.
Yeah.
Right? It was a big deal.
It was a awesome birthday party. It was
Thank
really
you.
good.
Yeah, she was
We
very
had a
happy.
blast.
But and I wasn't fishing for that. But what I was gonna
I was just giving it.
I
to
just
you,
told her
naturally.
that when you turn 50, you're required by state law here in Texas that you have to ask somebody about the weather twice a day. So she's got that burden now. It was a lot funnier in my head.
It's funny. No. It's funny you say that because I was just thinking about that and I was like, oh, I have a joke to add on to that. So I think the reason I didn't laugh is because I was just waiting to add mine.
Sure.
Which I'm sorry, that's very selfish of me.
No, that's great.
Your joke was very funny.
All comedians are selfish.
That is true.
Yeah. You have to be.
Well,
You got to put the mask on yourself first before you can save anybody else.
That is very true.
That's right.
But I was thinking I'm hitting a very important milestone. I think it's like at 35, I have to decide as a man where I'm either going to be into grilling or military history.
Oh, yeah.
Like that decision's coming up here soon.
That's true.
So I don't know. I guess I'm leaning towards smoked meat, but
Okay. Leaning towards smoked meat. That sounds like an episode title. Leaning towards smoked meat. Or a lifestyle choice. I don't know which one that is, but
I don't know. Nothing against. I'm a big history guy.
I never made that decision.
Okay, so maybe I don't have
I
to.
just started drinking real heavily.
Oh,
is what I did instead, and that way you don't have to make that decision.
But then
you just 15 years later, you got to go get your feet checked out. So just telling you.
All right, so I can either smoked meat, military history, get my feet checked out.
In the immortal
15
words
years from now.
In the immortal words of Rush, the band.
Oh, okay. Geddy Lee.
When you don't make a choice, you've still made a choice. So pick one, Zach.
Neil Peart.
I don't know.
Well,
I'm sure I crippled that.
I don't remember
badly, but
I
it's
was just
something
quoting
like
people
that.
in Rush. You know, the last thing, and then we'll get into what everybody's here for. Obviously,
Neil
the
Peart
comics.
history.
No, one of my favorite Family Guy bits is where they talk about how cool Chester Cheeto is, and he's listening to Tom Sawyer, and he crunches up a line of Cheetos, and he snorts it, and he's just like, "There's no effing drummer better than Neil Peart," and he slams his hand into the glass coffee table. It's all cut up and bleeding, and he turns and he looks at the camera and goes, "It ain't easy being cheesy." I just love it.
You know, I went to Walmart this morning.
Yeah,
because we needed water and drinks and stuff
Cheetos?
here for about 2 bags of Cheetos.
Puffs or crunch?
Oh, I don't F with the puffs. I don't like
Dude,
the puffs.
No,
don't
get
like
out.
them. Don't like them.
I'm not a big fan of the
studio.
crunch.
Shut up. But
that hurt.
No. I really enjoy the crunchy cheese jalapeno ones.
Ooh,
those are my favorites.
Good. Those are really good.
They have the most flavor.
Yeah.
They're the least chemically tasting ones.
Yeah,
but
the most being the flaming hot, obviously.
Well, no, I'm about to tell you.
Oh.
I bought a bag of elote Cheetos. I didn't know those were a thing. And so I thought, I'll try them. Normally, the elote thing does not get me. I love elote. I think it's very good.
Oh, it is so good.
But in a synthetic form, not so much. Right? It's like cherry. Cherry flavor in synthetic form sucks.
That's true. It kind of has a medicinal taste.
Cherry flavored Laffy Taffy can blow it out its butt. It's Laffy Taffy butt.
I like Laffy Taffy butt then.
But what I'm saying is,
I like grape and banana too of Laffy Taffy.
That's okay. These were the most chemically tasting Cheetos I've ever put in my mouth.
It's funny.
But I ate like half a bag.
Well, that's the thing.
Because I was in line for my medicine for my feet.
Oh, all right. Well, let me get to
what you got as far as comics
yeah,
goes,
let me get
Zach?
to some stuff. Also, today's episode brought to you by chemically tasting Cheetos and Mike's Feet Medicine.
Chemically induced Cheetos.
We talked about obviously looking at the first appearance of certain characters.
Yeah.
Something we started back to start the year. We're doing for the month of January. We had
Did
Superman. We've done Batman now.
Did
So I figured
Robin, if you want to count
we did
him,
Robin
really.
and Joker technically
that's
too.
true.
They were all in
Joker,
there.
yep.
Talked about Catwoman even a little bit.
Right.
About how she was a stewardess who just hit a tree branch and then decided to be a criminal.
When are we doing Captain Planet?
Well, okay. Here's what I will make this. Obviously, it started out as a cartoon.
Yeah. You ever see the Funny or Die one?
Yes, with Don Cheadle.
Yeah, Don
Love
Cheadle.
it.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
really
Don
good.
Cheadle's great
Good
though.
stuff.
Damn. Sorry. I'm thinking of Kevin Hart with that. Poor Don Cheadle. But so we're focusing on, some of the, and today I thought somebody we haven't talked about at all, funnily enough, in the history of the podcast.
Yeah.
Who is a big enough and probably a DC main staple, Aquaman. So I thought we'll go ahead and dive into the first part of Aquaman, but then
I'm not a huge Aquaman fan.
that's fine.
He talks to fish.
You're probably not going to be a fan of him after we get done
That's
with this.
fine.
I'm going to
That's
tell
fine.
you this.
I'm very interested in how it happens, but
His origin story.
Yeah.
Buddy.
I can't think of a superhero that I like that wears orange. Who else wears orange?
Wolverines. Remember, it's the orange and like the burgundy one looks really cool.
Yeah,
though.
that one's not bad. But he's orange and green. That is just a terrible combo.
Yeah. Well, just think of what is orange and green. That is a good color scheme. And the only thing I can think of is usually the Miami football jerseys or just jerseys in general.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of color scheme. They can make it look cool.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I can't think of any orange and green thing
Never
together.
been a big
That's
Miami fan either.
it looks just kind of very, dated in a way.
Yeah, it really
Doesn't
does.
the color combo together in an
together.
odd way just feels
Yeah.
like it dates them.
Yeah.
Which is why I feel like in the movies it's more of like a golden green. Like it's not.
The movies are a different thing too.
Well, it doesn't
just
matter.
don't
I mean,
understand, but
we're
whatever.
rebooting them all, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But
Which they need it.
yeah,
They need rebooting.
but I think we're kind of to a point too where we might be hitting the end of the
Apex.
comic book
Yeah.
movie.
That's kind of what it feels like, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then did DC?
What's next? It ain't Avatar. I know that.
Why do you say that? Like
I'm
you
not a
didn't
big,
like it?
I've never liked Avatar.
I didn't either, but just because
Have you seen the new one?
No.
Okay.
I said that so angry.
No.
How
dare you?
I have nothing against it, but like I saw the first one.
Did you like it?
Again, I feel like I've made this joke before, but I will always make this joke because it's my go-to joke for this. I really liked Avatar the first time I saw it when it was an animated movie in 1992 called Ferngully.
It's also the Smurfs. It's the same.
Yeah,
thing,
it's all
too.
like you
Yeah.
can pick whatever. Like we've had
Yeah.
the same story.
Yeah.
Granted, I've heard that this new one, the story's better. It's gorgeous, and I'm sure
See,
that
I've heard
it
just
looks,
the opposite.
Really? Okay.
I've heard it's terrible.
Well, that's fine. I guess it's just all a matter of
You know,
opinion.
there's talking whales in it.
I knew there were whales. I didn't know they talked, but it doesn't.
Talking whales.
Um,
One of them dies.
spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Is it?
So what?
is Charlie Tuna still alive though?
One of the whales dies, and then one of the, what are they called? Nabids or Nobids? Nobbins?
The Avatar.
What are they called?
I don't know.
Bluesies?
Navi is the. Oh my goodness! I'm
Navi
about to say something super well. To one community, not very nerdy.
Yeah.
To one who's not, but I was gonna say Navi is Zelda's fairy in
God, Zach.
Ocarina of Time.
Come on, Zach.
She's like, hey, I played that all the time as a kid. It's one of my favorite video games, man.
Apparently one of the whales talks, and then, well, they don't talk with their mouths. They speak telekinetically.
Telepathically.
Yeah, or telepathically.
I thought telekinetics
That's right.
was
That's
moving,
right. It's
right?
moving things. Yes, you're right. You proved me wrong, Zach.
Used to.
But anyway, one of them gets killed by this guy who wants to kill all the talking whales or whatever. This is what I've gleaned from what I've heard.
Oh, it's the
right?
same. It's who is it? Who's the bad guy?
But he dies, and then one of the other whales goes into deep depression.
Well, yeah,
because
his
that whale that died
was his
he
wife.
was a composer. Right. See.
Hold on. You're kidding, right?
There it is. Nope.
No.
No, he was a composer.
And that's why he's sad?
He's sad because he was a composer. I mean, we've lost one of the greatest whale minds of the CGI universe.
Hold on. Granted, I have not seen this.
Sure.
So.
Nor have I.
Which means that we should have zero valid opinions on this whatsoever.
Zach, I have a new pitch for you.
Okay.
It's a movie review podcast where we don't watch the movies. Yeah.
What do we go off of? Do we watch the trailer?
No. We just make it up. Yeah, we just make it up as we go.
We have to at least,
here's what I think this movie's about.
We have to at least know like a semblance of something to go off
piano.
of.
It's about a piano. I mean, come on.
Adrian Brody just plays a piano.
He's just
and
playing
it's his
a piano
career.
on a beach, I think.
That's like where it ends, I would assume. It's just him being an up-and-coming pianist.
Well, he's a big pianist. And then a big wave comes.
Well, just like all pianists, he had to start out small at some point in time.
It gets exciting right in the middle. But he's playing his piano on the beach. A big wave comes. He gets demolished, and then they're all sad because he was a composer. That's what happens.
So
I think,
they
in the
stole.
piano. Yeah,
they stole the end
Yes,
game.
James Cameron's a thief.
Here's the thing. I did not think we would take this route.
Sure.
Here's the thing, though.
Well, you're the one that brought in Aquaman. I mean, you asked for it.
But I didn't bring up Avatar.
You asked for it.
I'm sure I thought,
this
man, I
fish
know
talk.
we're going to
Come
talk a lot about James Cameron by me bringing in Aquaman. All right.
All right.
Before because I was just going to go off on a James Cameron tangent.
And you've got to.
You can't make me sit around. Like, I get that the fifth movie is great, but don't sell me on how great the fifth movie is because I got to sit through 4 other movies to get there.
That's right. Yeah.
That's my point.
See, I think
that's the old angry
James
James
Cameron got super lucky with Titanic. Then they said, "Here's boatloads of money. Make whatever you want."
He made good, like Terminator and Terminator 2. I would say are both good movies.
Oh, that's true. I didn't think about that. Yeah, you're right.
Like he had,
except for all the product placement in Terminator 2.
That is true. I'm not going to say he's not a good filmmaker.
You have one Terminator and you have another Terminator, and they're fighting each other. And behind each Terminator is a Pepsi machine.
Yeah.
It's a Pepsi fight.
It is a Pepsi fight. But I'm not going to say, like, he has made good movies.
Sure.
So I'm not knocking him there.
Yeah.
It's just, if anybody has drank the James Cameron tea more than anybody else, it's James Cameron.
That's true. Like. Yeah, James Cameron loves himself.
So,
he loves Papyrus also, that font.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's true.
Because that's what he uses.
But I've heard it's good. Mike's heard it's bad. This has been movies we haven't seen. Our reviews of
movies I'll never watch is what it's called.
So take that with a grain of salt,
that's
obviously.
A good idea. We really should start that.
So Aquaman appeared, Mike.
Movies I'll never watch.
That would be hilarious. I think it's just like short 2-minute YouTube shorts of just us, like just pulling up the thing, and be like, movies to never watch. I'm not gonna watch it because of this.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna watch it because of this.
What do you think it's about?
And then we just talk about it.
I think it's about this. Bye.
Yeah,
that's the whole show.
That's the whole show. Movies we never watch.
If this is not, by the way, trademark.
Copyright. Propriety.
Yep.
Perpetuity.
I've already put it in an envelope and mailed it to myself.
Yep.
So, yeah.
We already have the copyright for it. Don't even try.
That's right. No, it's already been done by the time you hear this.
So, Aquaman appeared in More Fun Comics number 73.
More fun.
Back in 1941.
More fun than what?
Than less fun comics, I guess. Or just regular fun comics. These were more fun.
Whoever named their comics less fun comics. That guy needs some marketing help.
cool thing about the issue number 73 of More Fun Comics, Aquaman is not the only DC staple to appear or debut in that issue. It is also the first appearance of Green Arrow in More Fun Comics number 73.
See, I was getting excited, and then you said Green Arrow.
Well, I'm just saying, like, both of them appeared in the same book.
Sure.
And that's like they start at the same time and kind of their histories.
I bet James Cameron could make a hell of a Green Arrow movie.
It would look pretty.
It'd take about 12 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it would not follow any of the comic book story whatsoever, but it would look gorgeous.
Sure.
And it would just be called Green Arrow.
And it'd all take place at the bottom of the sea.
But if you know, and when I was thinking about this and I was reading through Aquaman, there's a lot of just fun we'll get to here. But then I thought, I know Aquaman's not even the first amphibious superhero, right? Who does that? That's Namor.
Namor, right? Namor started before
Namor
Aquaman,
started
correct?
2 years before this.
Okay.
And I think we've talked about it before.
Nayless? No. Namor.
Namor got his name because the writer and creator wanted his name to sound kind of just regal, like a Roman emperor and stuff.
It's backwards,
Namor
right?
is Roman backwards.
Yeah.
So, and I'm looking to figure out when.
Isn't he called the Emperor of the Sea or something?
Maybe at
Namor?
some point in time. Another movie I have not watched, the new Black Panther movie.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we got a lot of movies for this podcast.
There's a lot
or
to
the
watch,
movie
yeah.
review.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm saying the movies not to watch. For
Oh,
us
the
to
movies
review.
that I'll never watch? Well,
I don't know
I
if
can't
I'll
say that
never
about
watch
that.
that.
I'll watch that.
I will too.
Yeah.
But Avatar.
I will probably watch. No, I won't. I'm not watching Avatar. Screw that. I'm too old
You can't
to watch
go
that
back.
at this
But
point. I can't do that.
I was looking for.
That's how I get out of watching it with my wife. I've made a commitment, honey. I'm sorry.
I can't. You can put me on it. It's like I promised Zach and he promised me.
I promised all of my listeners.
And all of our listener. Well, we say if who was it that you were just so mean to last week?
I don't remember.
Fred?
I'm mean to so many
Was it
people.
Fred? No, it was the same guy.
Oh, it was Jeff.
Jeff.
Oh.
It is just listener
Sit
now.
down, Jeff.
We had two, and then Mike went and pissed off Jeff last week. So now it's just Frank.
It's always going to be Jeff.
Hey, Frank. Thanks.
Frank,
so
you can get out too.
looking for. Damn it, Mike. Now it's just us. Looking for where
It's just been us all
it's
along.
always been us all along.
I'm sorry. Please tell your story about the fish man.
You're fine. Multiple fishmen, by the way.
Okay.
So I was tracking down, and this is just a cool bit of comic book kind of history in a way.
Okay.
The debut of Namor, actually, his first story.
Namor?
No, the soccer
Julie
player.
Namor?
No, that's Newmar.
Oh.
Which, by the way, Mike, I know I've talked about that before, but
Julie. You've talked
Julie
about
Newmar?
Julie Newmar before?
No, Julie Newmar and her Catwoman suit.
Oh,
Dude.
Okay. I did not even connect that with Catwoman.
Oh.
I was just thinking, like 40s film star Julie Newmar.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking of 60s TV star.
You're thinking
Julie
60s,
Newmar.
older. I'm got to be on Batman at this point, Julie Newmar.
See, oh, wait.
gotcha.
So she was, this is going to sound, but she was famous before that?
She was. Yeah. Yeah.
I have not seen peak Julie Newmar. Sounds so disgusting. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. But I'm just having a realization that.
Julie Newmar. She was only Catwoman for 1 year.
Yeah, it was her and Lee Merriweather and then Eartha Kitt.
Yeah. She's been
I know
on
way too much random
she
stuff.
has been on a lot of the animated ones as
a voice. Yeah, no, I think she voiced Catwoman in the Batman 66.
She was the voice of the Bat car. She was not. I just made that up to piss people off.
It's a mobile, not a car. It's a mobile.
We had somebody reach out to us on one of the other shows, and it's the King of the Hill one.
Yeah.
And I said something like, instead of saying Dale's Bugabago, I said like Dale's Bug Van or something. Oh, they were so pissed off.
That you didn't call it a Bugabago?
You don't even know to call it correct.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
okay, buddy.
Although I do feel like, hey, you've made it, Mike. You've pissed off some random stranger on the internet.
Oh, I've done that before.
That's true.
She was, oh my God, she's been in so much.
Yeah, she was in a lot.
Like her first, well, this is not in chronological.
Okay. Well,
1952
was when she started?
was when the big one.
What was the big one?
I don't know.
Was that the name of
It
it?
just
The
said
big one?
1952. It said It's Wonderful something. I don't
Oh,
know.
okay. Fair
It
enough.
was- It looked like she was putting out movies, like multiple movies a year.
So she was always
Yeah,
busy.
like she was in a lot of those. I think like the
Hallmark movies.
No, like the water dancing ones and the.
What? Wait, hold on. The water, like the Gene Kelly, like the. What do you mean water dancing?
Not Gene Kelly, but yes, where they
Danny
all dive in at the
Kaye, or
same
like,
time. Like where they all dive into the water.
Yeah,
at the same time.
It's like all the synchronous.
Esther, somebody.
Yeah, man.
Esther's
You know
somebody.
what? I wonder why we don't have more listeners. And then I realize, pardon my French.
There is no subject.
Pardon my French. I'm going to warn you right now. I'm just going to let it drop. Just let it in. 5 seconds. And then we have fucking conversations like that.
All right. I'm sorry.
Oh,
okay.
man.
Go.
All right. Here we go.
Fish boy.
So I decided to look up the start of where Namor was then, since he was the original.
Right. Sure.
And the first appearance of, I said,
It's a fine. Just keep
Okay.
going. Just keep going.
but Motion Pictures Funnies Weekly, we're going to get through this. We have to.
Yes.
Or it's going to be a 2-hour podcast. Motion Pictures Funny Weekly is where the Submariner is what he was
Motion
called.
Picture Funnies Weekly.
Now,
Wow.
what this was that I found, Bill Everett is the guy who created Namor. And he will end up taking this character, obviously, to Timely Comic. Is it Timely? I think that ends up becoming Marvel. That
You
know
said
owns.
obviously, but okay, sure.
Sorry.
Obviously, you took it to Timely Comics.
Here's
or
the thing:
whatever
I
hell you
say
said.
words
Yeah.
just to like bring things together.
I
don't mean-
understand
yeah.
why you said it. I'm just saying it's like it's not obvious to all of us.
Well, I didn't,
I didn't know Timely Comics was a thing.
and that's fine if you didn't know. I don't think any less of you for not knowing. But when you say like,
Even the way you
like,
said that, I think you
obviously,
do.
no,
Yeah.
I do. Damn it, Mike. All right.
You're good. Go.
So Motion Pictures Funny, I found out by looking at this, though.
Mm-hmm.
The idea was brought forth by Centaur Comics publisher at the time, of where they were going to print comic ads like this to be given, our comic books like this. It's a 36-page book, and they were going to be given to kids at
36 pages.
36 pages,
Wow.
and it was going to be given to kids at movie theaters. That's why it's Motion Pictures Funnies Weekly. And so the whole idea was you can have comics that are about the movies that are in there. You know, they're just trying to sell it. And then like the back ads could be
Right.
ads for them, or you could have things in there. They could
Sand
make it
kicking
for
in the
each.
face, whatever.
Well, I was just saying, or, you know, they could make it personalized for each like movie theater kind of stuff like that.
Okay. All right.
And so it was supposed to be this big deal. The thing is, it was just a prototype. Only 8 copies were ever printed. A lot of
Really?
them were found at the guy's estate after he passed away
Holy crap.
of proofs that existed of
It
this.
seems like such a good idea, too.
It does. It never took off.
Huh.
This one here, funny enough, if you read, it's a copy of it, but it has pay copy written in like somebody's handwriting on the scan here. I found out it's listed in the Wikipedia article about just this book, but the pay copy version was the one, if you flip through it on certain things, it'll have like, all right, this guy get paid this much for this story. This guy got paid this much for this story. And so that's what, like, you know, it's just so cool to kind of think that this is something, the first story of Namor never was actually printed and
Yeah,
published
that's
until it was
crazy.
somewhere else. So technically the first time we see the Submariner,
Yeah.
which I will call
Well,
him
he's not
because
even
it's
called
easier.
Namor at this point.
Well, no,
right?
he is. He is
Oh,
called
he is?
Namor.
Okay.
But the title of it is also the Submariner. He introduces himself. What we have is, it's a really simple kind of story in a way.
So many pipes.
So everybody smoked back
They
in
all
the
smoked
30,
pipes.
1939, by the way, when this came out. 2
This
years
is
before
wonderful
Aquaman.
art, too, by the
Oh,
way.
the art is
Yeah,
great in this first
beautiful.
one. So, we're introduced just to some. It's just the one story we're covering here, so I'm not really going to get into names or anything. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But it's underwater. It's like a salvage crew that they come across. They're out there to look for a sunken ship and try to salvage what's left in
James
there.
Cameron.
James Cameron. So while they're down there, though, one of the guys in the diving suit comes up and he goes, "Hey, like I saw some things that were just kind of odd down there. It looked like somebody had just been through there recently, but like we're the first boat down here," kind of thing. So they send a couple more guys down, and when they get down, they notice that the hatch of the ship or the submarine, it has a hatch. I assume it's the submarine, is open. And so the diver radios back up and he goes, "Hey, was this open when we were down here earlier?"
Glub.
And the diver's like, "No, it wasn't. It was closed." So they go in, and that's when they notice this man swimming underwater, which turns out to be the Submariner.
Yeah.
Well, he kind of stays hidden from them. He sees, or they see him. They kind of go after, and he speeds so quickly, he kind of just darts away, and they can't find him. But when he makes his way out, it's just the Submariner and his knife. That's all. He's like a diving knife. When he comes out,
He doesn't have a trident?
no.
Huh.
When he comes out, he grabs the cables leading. He thinks they're machines leading to the robots.
Yeah.
The air tubes, the phone, all of that,
Oh,
grabs them and slices them.
Oh, no.
Right? So,
It's bad design if one guy with a knife can slice them all.
yep. Then they start to fight, and he gets into a fight with them, and he crushes one of their, like, the
Skull.
he has the strength of like 1,000 men, and he like crushes the helmet that's there. So it obviously kills the guy that's
Oh,
in
it has
there.
a dude's head in it?
Yeah, no,
at the
he's still
time?
in there.
Oh, wow. I was just kidding.
So he just like
Wow.
crumples it a
Okay.
bit, and they end up somehow in the battle ends up killing, like, both divers end up dying. He thinks they're still robots though, and he's just protecting the sea, kind of.
Wait, how does he know about robots?
That's the thing. None of this is ever explained.
Okay.
And that's, I will tell you, I was going to get with Aquaman. There's a lot of
Yeah.
laziness of,
Yeah.
you know, oh, I live in my underwater, but yet he knows so much about land
Yeah.
on some things and is so confused about other things.
Did they ever mention cloacas?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right.
Like
good.
cloacias, isn't that in your
I
ear?
thought it was cloaca. Isn't that what's on the bottom of a squid or a octopus or whatever? Isn't it their mouth?
Sure.
Isn't it cloaca?
Yeah.
Or is it their butthole? I don't know what it is.
This episode brought to you by Squid Buttholes.
Squid buttholes.
So he takes the evil robots that he thinks he's found back to his people, which are these lovely little blue beings that live underwater. We find out that Namor is half human, half sea creature.
Shit, that looks like one of the people from Avatar.
Well, they are blue. I guess I should point that out. That maybe.
Well, she got the big ass eyes too.
Yeah. Well, that guy kind of looks like a fish.
Oh, he does. He looks like catfish.
But we find out
King
that
catfish.
you know, a Namor takes them there.
So he's part fish.
He's part fish person, part human, and we find out his backstory a little bit. But he takes what he thinks are the robots and he lifts up the mask to be like, let's see what's under here, kind of. And he's like,
Yeah.
oh, they're humans.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like, feels bad, you know, he's just like, oh, you know, and his mother kind of comforts him a bit. And she's like,
Oh, that's his mom?
That's his mom.
The blue lady?
And Blue Lady's his mom.
wow.
And she comforts him and she's like, no, they're all evil. Like, you know, it's fine. You don't know what you do. And then
all
he's like,
robots.
and he's like, but I thought that, you know, I don't understand. Why are the Earth people so bad? Wasn't my father an Earthman? Like, he's trying to figure out. Earthman, bad.
Yeah.
And she's like, yes, you know, he was a fine man, but his people were mean. Like, yeah, your dad was nice, but everybody else, bunch of assholes. And essentially, it's a group of explorers have come down to the South Pole and have started to try to discover, and it has just them like sending explosives down to bust up the ice and everything has just started to decimate the underwater people population. So they send her.
So I'm sorry to interrupt you.
You're
but
fine.
These are just people that live underwater.
Yeah, they're
That's
just
all
like a
we get
civilization.
out of
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
They're like part fish, part
Fish, part person.
Okay.
And they send her up to essentially, it's a little creepy. Here's the thing too. There's,
Oh, now it gets creepy.
well, it's
Sure.
a bit creepy.
Yeah.
It says, and I'm reading verbatim. I feel like I just need to always point out when I read stuff, I'm reading
Sure,
verbatim
absolutely. Please
from the
do.
comic. The White Earthmen were blasting us out of existence with their infernal scientific investigations and air quotes. Soon, many more ships arrived, and finally, in desperation, our elders commanded an army to be formed. And I, most nearly resembling the female of the white race, was invested as a spy. And the king says to her, "Thou Finn, beautiful goddess of the seals."
Goddess of the seals.
Yeah, not like a seal. I think like the.
Yeah,
So,
like a,
I don't know. That was
yeah.
a seal noise,
Sure.
but you know what I was going for. Thou shalt find
Something
thy
wrong with that
way
seal.
into the hands of these white monsters, there to work your feminine wiles to our racial advantage.
Wow. That's rough.
Yeah.
By the way, cloaca.
Get the hints while there is yet time. Sorry, I just had to finish the cloaca.
A common cavity at the end of the digestive tract for release of both do you say excretory or do you say excretory?
Excretory.
Excretory.
Because it's poop.
And genital products in vertebrates, except most mammals, and certain invertebrates.
Oh,
so it's their mouth and their butthole.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you
well, no, and it could also be their sex organs.
It could also be their sex organs. Well,
so it's just everything.
We can say that about everything, but sure.
No, I'm pretty sure. Well, all right. Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
So,
anyway,
she's supposed to use her feminine wiles, and she does so to essentially
to rub his cloaca.
Yeah, but to seduce Namar's dad.
Yeah.
And that's how he's born.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I'll just read the rest of this verse.
So that's why he's white when the rest of them are blue or whatever.
Yeah, it's because
okay.
his dad was.
And in the new Wakanda thing,
I haven't seen it.
Okay, all right.
But
anyway, I wonder how they address that in the new Wakanda.
Probably I'm sure he has a different origin once he came with Marvel.
Yeah, probably.
But that's essentially just what's told in the story is his origin and then
that's
him
super
killing
cool
people.
though. Yeah,
but it was really cool to find. I thought that was a really cool thing for us to get into. Now to the coup de resistance. Right? Did I say that right?
Hey, before we do that, now'd be a good time to take a break.
Fine. Here's our sponsors, Mike's Foot Medicine, and I don't know, whatever. Going to the doctor 7 times. And we're back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I really like here lately is the Dutch
You forcing me to take commercial breaks when I'm not ready.
Dutch Brothers coffee.
I've never had it. I do see them popping up everywhere.
Yeah, it is very good. I get a 911, which have I told you this story before?
No.
I get something called a 911, right? Which is like,
are they open late?
Yeah, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 6 shots, right? I mean, it's a stout little boy. Yeah. But I made the mistake the first time of not knowing whether to call it a 911 or a 911.
You always call it a 911, I feel like.
I know. And I thought as soon as I said it, I was like, shit, that's the wrong thing to call it.
You called it the...
I did. To them. Yeah. I said, can I get a 911? They said, well, we don't know how to fly. And I said, well, okay, I'm sorry.
You know what? I do feel like this is appropriate for the Aquaman episode
sure,
somehow.
It is. All right, go for it.
All right, so
let's go.
Aquaman,
Fish Boy on the
he
clock.
appeared in More Fun Comics number 73 in 1941, along with Green Arrow, who Mike also does not like.
Did you say 1941?
1941.
Wow. Okay. You ever seen 1942, the movie?
No.
Steven Spielberg movie?
No, but I've played 1941, the video game. Have you?
That's a good one. I love 1941. Yeah, yeah, because it's you just carpet bombing everything. Oh, yeah, it's great.
But no, I haven't seen 1942. I've heard of it.
1942, John Belushi.
Oh, good.
Directed by Steven Spielberg.
I thought you were going to say John Belushi directed. Then I'd be like, no, I'm going to pass.
No, it's directed by Steven Spielberg, and I always thought it was kind of a funny movie.
Sorry, John Belushi. I'm fine with John. I was thinking of Jim.
Oh no, Jim Belushi is he shouldn't be allowed to be things. Yeah, he tried to take over as the Blues Brothers thing, right? Blues Brothers 2000 with Macaulay Culkin. That's gross.
Hey, John Goodman's in there though, and I will say,
don't care.
No. This is it. John Goodman is one of my favorite actors, if not of all time, and I will say he has been in bad movies, but there is not a bad John Goodman performance.
No. The Cloverfield movie, he's really good at that.
Yes, and like that's the thing. Like, has he been in bad movies? Yeah, he's been in terrible movies, but he's good in them.
Yep.
So, Aquaman, Mike, there's nowhere to go.
He's one of those guys though that like it's weird that he lost all that weight, right? And like it seems weird, like him and Jonah Hill.
A little bit.
It's weird to look at him because you're like, what happened?
Well, yeah, a little bit, but like in a weird way, the thing that I've seen him most recently in is Righteous Gemstones on HBO. It's hilarious. But so his like, I don't know. To me, it just fits with like the kind of character more of like like the big.
Oh, that's true.
Because you would think
you're
like I've seen in real life like some heavyset televangelists. The older they kind of get a weird kind of skinniness to them. So it just kind of fit with like the.
No, you're
I
right
guess
about
I didn't
that.
see there.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I kind of guess I got used to Jonah Hill, although I can't think of anything I've seen him in here lately.
Oh, he's got that thing on Netflix where he talks to his therapist or whatever.
Is it like real life him talking to his
black
therapist?
and white. I don't know. It's trying to be special or something. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know.
Why the hostility towards Jonah Hill?
I don't know. Jonah Hill's just one of those guys.
All right. Well,
Seems very punchable to me.
All right. So we have the first 4 issues of Aquaman to cover, just like we have with the first 4 appearances, or not appearances, not issues. First 4 appearances of our other heroes.
Yep.
So, Mike, there's nowhere to go but down when tell me who it looks
Aquaman.
like. Well, who it looks like Aquaman's very first villain is on the first time we see him.
Oh yeah, it's Nazis.
Well, more importantly, who does the main captain look like? It kind of looks like he's supposed to be Hitler.
Like Hitler. Yeah.
How else are you supposed? If your first guy fights Hitler,
where do you go from there?
Such a great villain.
Hitler, then Satan. That's it.
Yeah, that's kind of all you got.
Then you got to fight people on the moon.
And he doesn't have moon powers. So,
That's true.
He
wouldn't do well in space, would he?
No, he would be terrible in
Wow.
space.
Yeah, I didn't think
Unless
about
he went to a planet that had water,
It's true.
which I don't know how like different.
He'd be great in Avatar.
Dude. They probably went over it at some point in time in the DC world. I'm just not. I don't care about Aquaman enough to look into it. No disrespect to anybody who's worked on Aquaman. The characters just never
And
appealed
if you
to me.
love Aquaman, then you please see your therapist.
Well, I'm not going to say that. I'm saying you should love what you like. But if other things are around,
Jonah
maybe
Hill
you should.
loves Aquaman.
You don't know that, Mike. You're just saying that so you can make him more punchable, too.
That's right.
So,
All right.
the first time we meet Aquaman, we just see a picture of him here. But essentially, there is a unarmed ship that is speeding away from a submarine that has been shot by Nazis.
Okay.
At first, we come to find out that they were sent to, it's a boat that has refugees, I guess, leaving Germany, or I don't know. It's a bunch of women and kids, refugees that they were sent to sink.
Yeah.
Well, Aquaman
I'm
comes
looking
out
at
of
the
nowhere.
picture because it looks like when he puts his leg together, it's just a big fin.
It does. His feet kind of look finned when he does that. But Aquaman ends up saving everybody onto the lifeboat from the ship, and he takes them, to safety, and kind of goes to deal with the Nazis, but they go back underwater, and he's like, I need to take everybody to safety instead.
Sure, right.
And he does obviously what everybody thinks that Aquaman does. And Mike brought it up earlier. He talks to fish.
Sure, he does.
And in this place, it says, diving deep, the strange man of the sea addresses friendly porpoises in their own language, and they obey.
I'm supposed to take this seriously.
Quick, friends, rescue that boat. Hurry it to land. So, like, a group of dolphins just takes it to land. And then the captain's like, hey, thanks for saving us. Watch your story. And this is where we come out, and I'm just going to read it as told in the very first appearance of Aquaman, his origin. It's different now. Atlantis, all of that stuff.
Sure, right.
But here's how it was originally told in 4 panels. Actually, I'm going to say 5 panels because there's a funny joke in here.
He was shot out of the cloaca of a dolphin.
Aquaman begins his story talking about his dad, because his dad, they asked, hey, it must be a miracle. How do you do all this? And he's like, well, let me tell you, my dad, let me start with my father, a famous undersea explorer. If I spoke his name, you would recognize it.
Jacques
which is fun.
Cousteau.
I think that's what they're trying to say.
But wait, this was 41.
Yeah. Oh, so it's not Jacques Cousteau.
I don't think it's Jacques Cousteau.
No, it's not. But
he was like 50, 60.
I think they're trying to make you think of whoever is supposed to be famous, but it's just like that.
Admiral Byrd.
If I spoke his name, you would know. But he's like trying not to be I don't care.
He's a big deal.
Yeah, it's like this. It's like if this guy showed up to play, pickup game with you, and he's pretty good at basketball, and you're like, oh, you wear number 23 on your jersey. Who's your dad? If I said his name, you know. You know.
My dad named the
I don't
clown.
know why I had like a Brian Regan.
My dad named the clownfish.
Yeah.
You know.
But so he tells him that if I spoke his name, you would recognize it. Mother died when I was a baby, and he turned to his work of solving the ocean's secrets, because that's what everybody does to deal with grief.
Right.
So he begins his story. His greatest discovery was an ancient city in the depths where no other diver had ever penetrated.
Oof.
Be prepared for a lot of words like this in Aquaman. This
Like
is why it's
penetrated?
creepy. Penetrated. We're going to have molest come up in a weird way.
Good.
Um,
Stop molesting that fish.
my father believed it was the lost kingdom of Atlantis.
Okay.
So this was once
Was
a
he
great
right though?
This was once a great civilization drowned ages ago by a deluge, is what his dad says. And his dad has like a
like that word,
scuba deluge.
I've
Yeah.
always liked that word. Yeah.
Has like a scuba helmet on and stuff, and it says he made himself a watertight home in one of the palaces and lived there because you know what you don't need for oxygen to be created? Water. It's not like it's,
Yeah. It's one of the molecules,
it is.
right?
Yeah, there's a part of oxygen in water.
I just asked you if that was right.
Yeah. But
right?
I'm just saying, like,
right, sure. Yeah. Mhm.
Huh? So while he's there, his dad's reading everything that I guess it is the Atlanteans. They don't
Right.
say it, but it's supposed to lead to believe.
Sure.
And his dad studies their records and devices of the race's marvelous wisdom.
Marvelous is.
From the books and records, he learned ways of teaching me to live under the ocean. That's right, Mike.
Wait.
Hold on. Aquaman has a black condor beginning.
Wow.
His dad says, these remains of their science show that they possess wonders the upper world has never known.
Upper world.
Then we say, drawing oxygen from the water and using all the power of the sea to make me wonderfully strong and swift. By training and 100 scientific secrets, I became what you see, a human being who lives and thrives underwater.
Wearing a clown suit.
His dad, he goes, my son. Okay, first of all, I don't want to spare the speech bubble, but I just want to show you how old
Oh yeah.
Arthur Curry. He's never mentioned as Arthur Curry. It's always Aquaman here.
Oh yeah.
You see, probably a teenager at this point, right?
Right.
His dad sees him and says, my son is a true dweller of the deep. His name shall be Aquaman. His dad did not name him until he was a teenager and then decided to name him Aquaman after, thanks to, excuse me, let me remember, I want to quote it correctly. Also, thanks to training and 100 scientific secrets,
Yeah.
he learned how to breathe underwater as well.
100 scientific secrets by a society that was deluged into the non-existence.
Then we wrap up the story.
But Arthur Clarke said,
Curry.
"Oh,
Then, sorry.
Arthur
Damn
C.
it,
Clarke.
I sound like such an a-hole when I correct you.
no, you're fine."
Then Aquaman says, that's all of the story. My father died. I carried on his studies in the sea. He goes, I carried on his studies in the sea bottom city. They never say Atlantis.
Bottom City.
Now I must go. And then the captain from the boat that he rescued goes, not yet. My country and people will reward you. And as Aquaman jumps in, he goes, thanks, but I seek no reward as he dives into the water.
Are you a sea top or are you a sea bottom?
Oh, man. So we're going to speed through some of these stories just because a lot of them, oddly enough, are kind of similar.
I like just how he's in the middle of the story and goes, and then he died.
Yeah,
And that's
he does.
it.
My
I
father
don't want to
died.
talk about it anymore.
He's like, my father died. I carried on what he did. Now I must go. So essentially, Aquaman just hunts down
Wait, who is he telling this to?
the captain of the refugee ship that he rescued.
Okay, all right. You gotta. Do you feel like Aquaman is like the vegan of his generation, where like if anybody will listen, he tells them all about
his
being
dad.
Aquaman?
He's like, oh yeah, no, hey, I had brunch with my dad the other day. Oh, that's nice. Let me tell you about my dad. He found Atlantis and he taught me how to breathe underwater. Man,
and he's dead.
And he's dead. I gotta go now.
Gotta go. Bye.
I've been doing a lot more voices here lately.
That's good.
I know.
Yeah,
All right.
that's how a career starts.
So I have done voice work before.
No, you have. You told me.
Not good voice work.
It's okay.
Um.
All voice work is good voice work.
So, instead of focusing on just story by story with these, I've decided to instead just focus on my favorite parts.
Yeah, please do.
Of Aquaman's story. So we're
love
not here
this.
forever. So the Nazis in this story are running away from Aquaman, who can easily just run on land, right?
I love how this show we can say things like, so then the Nazis, I mean, it's not a history show. It's not we mention Nazis way more than any other show.
And here's the thing,
it's because comics would they would target them all the time.
Especially when we're covering stuff like in the 40s and stuff. Yeah. But like, I feel like if people knew how much I talked about Nazis on our podcast, they would think it was a different kind of podcast.
Right. They would think,
but it's not the case. It was just the easy, like, especially during war times, them and the Japanese a lot were used. Just anybody who were
the Japanese
kind of the
were
Axis
an easy
powers.
Like racist kind of thing. It was a very big racist crutch.
Yeah, I shouldn't say, but I was always a fan of Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, but
his political comics were extremely racist.
Oh, sure.
Just like everything else at the time, and it was just easy just to kind of hey, they're not only are you at war with them, but then they're different too. It's just everything easier to them. But so, like most things in the 40s, the Nazis are who we're dealing with here.
I know you haven't really gotten to this yet, but why does Aquaman have green swamp gas coming out of him?
That's where we're getting to, and that's the other misfortunate wording part.
Okay, great.
So, so the Nazis run in. I had to block this. Mike always, damn it.
Yeah, I always.
Did you see it?
No, I didn't see anything. No.
So the Nazis run in and kind of hide themselves in the arsenal, and
going blind.
Okay. Well, Aquaman's knocking on the door, basically like, come out, like he's just banging on the door from the letter in. The Nazi captain,
I'm washing my hands,
in very Looney Tune fashion. Yeah. The Nazi captain leans in a window up above, holding like it looks like Thor's hammer.
Yeah.
But
he's just gonna drop a hammer on his head.
He drops a hammer on his head and knocks Aquaman out.
And it's not only that. He says, "Heads you lose." That
is what Aquaman is filled with.
That is good stuff.
Goofy shenanigans, at least at the start. It's goofy shenanigans.
Wow.
And it's one-liners. Aquaman makes a ton of one-liners, man. Like, you think Spider-Man's bad? You have not been in a fight with Aquaman where he will make one. Like, that's all he knows how to speak in.
Well, even like the Nazis, like they tie him up with this chain and stuff, and they put a bunch of weights on him. And they say, "How deep is the ocean?" And then the other guy,
that's all it is.
Happy landing.
Yeah.
As they say. And by the way, these are Nazis.
Yeah.
They're not speaking a lot of English.
No. Well, these are.
Okay. Head you lose.
And here's the thing. And I don't.
Look at his face. He looks like Colonel Klink.
He does. From Hogan's Heroes.
Yeah, he looks like Hogan's Heroes. All gone.
Speaking of weird guys, Bob Crane. Right?
Oh, Bob Crane.
So,
weirdo,
maybe misunderstood. Maybe weirdo's wrong.
No.
Wait, did he kill somebody?
No, I don't think he. I think he was suspected in a thing, and then
that's what it was.
It wasn't, and then he died in his hotel room with a bunch of porn and stuff.
Well,
and
that's probably
to tie up animals or something. I don't know
about the animals, but dying in a hotel room just filled with porn is probably how one of us are going out. And I don't know who it is. So
yeah, you do.
Here's the thing: you said, "Yeah, you do," and I'm still curious. I'm like, "Do I?"
Yeah,
so
nobody does.
And these brilliant Nazis. This show has just been
it's been off the rails.
The brilliant Nazis decide what's the best way to get a sea superhero. We'll just tie weights to them and throw them into the ocean.
Dump him in the ocean.
That is also a big thing that shows up in a lot of early Aquaman appearances. Iron scraps tied to him to sink him to the bottom. You asked about, so it's too deep. The pressure is too deep. He can't break the chains.
Sure.
So he does know, he finds this plant that he knows can secrete this green thing, right? And let me just read again our second miswording of the same issue.
So stupid sometimes.
Aquaman has recognized the bulb, like plants, as a species containing a bright greenish fluid in the same manner that a squid exudes an inky-like liquid to confuse its enemies. So these plants secrete a colored fluid when molested.
That's what came out of my back. It's the same thing. It was a green.
It secreted a colored fluid
when they molested my back.
I know it's a different time. It just doesn't feel. But
wow, they didn't even try to cover the Nazi thing. Like they literally have swastikas.
Yeah, they just drew straight swastikas on it. So
you molest the plants and they
so
squirt out green goos.
the green goo alerts the dolphins who come and bring him up to a higher level in the ocean to where the pressure's not so bad.
Right.
Then he is able to break free of his chains and he goes back to fight the Nazis and he punches one guy out. The captain runs back into the arsenal, grabs a grenade and chunks it at him.
Yeah. Is it one of those grenades with a handle on it? Like the old school? Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Like the... no.
German grenades, you know?
With like you pull a pin and hold the handle? No.
I'm talking about with a stick on it.
Oh,
You
like
know what I
those?
mean?
No.
Yeah,
No,
okay.
this is just one of like the plastic, like the ribbed handle, regular ones.
It's so boring.
Sounded like I was talking about condoms instead of
did.
grenades,
For
but
his-
you know what I'm
For
talking
his
about.
pleasure.
The grenades? He grabs the grenade, throws it at Aquaman, and he goes, "You haven't won yet, you walking fish."
Whoa.
Again, they all speak in nothing but like digs like that. And Aquaman catches the grenade, says, "I don't know what this, or I don't know what danger this is," and then goes, "But I throw it back at you," and then throws it back at him, and it explodes. And it sends the
Aquaman
guy sky
jumps in
high,
the
and then he
water.
just jumps back in the water,
That's
and
it.
that's the first time we see of Aquaman.
So do you ever think Aquaman had the uncomfortable, like, and, you know, I don't know if this is a thing or not, but like he called a dolphin a porpoise at one
like,
point, and the dolphin's
mistakenly?
like, "How dare you?"
He's
You
like,
know,
"Yeah,
that
you
kind of
don't
thing.
know." Oh, yeah.
I mean,
well, maybe he.
It wouldn't be "How dare you"; it'd be more like "Eek, eek, 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 eek," that kind of thing. But still, you know, don't you think that would be a thing with Aquaman?
Yeah, I do think so.
I'm
Like
no
he wouldn't know.
clownfish. Stop talking.
It's like,
to me
how
that
many
way.
times have I told you?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm not a clownfish.
and he'd
We
be-
don't all look alike.
Yeah, and he'd like come out and be like, "Come on, guys,
Yeah.
Steve looks like it." They're like,
Come
This again? Come on,
Yeah.
Aquaman."
Yeah, that had to be a thing, right?
Oh yeah, he seems like he would be just like
Yeah.
like oddly racist, but not get it.
Fishist.
Vicious. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
that would be.
vicious.
He's vicious.
Yeah.
Although everybody that does like to bring like they refer to it as the sea people as a race of sea people.
Who
Anyway,
knew?
in both Namor and Aquaman.
Oh, well.
Our second Aquaman
Well,
appearance.
at least they're blue. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this.
I mean, he's just a dude that his dad liked being in the ocean.
Yeah, and he just taught him how to breathe underwater
That's
thanks
so
to scientific
weird.
secrets.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has no.
I really thought he had some sort of
Not
big,
from the beginning.
Huh. Wow.
I mean,
at some point he's like the son of Atlantis.
I
though,
have a
right?
feeling.
Like,
I have. Okay, so from my understanding, here's if you look in. My years are off, probably. Man, I know way too much random stuff. But like, I want to say like 59, early 60s
okay.
is when DC started putting out for not all of them, but for like the Flash. Maybe it was earlier than that. But when they started putting out the individual books, in some cases they kind
instead
of
the compilation
rebooted.
things or
It was
whatever,
no
yeah.
more, like because even before people got their own books, you have
No
to
more Namor.
remember is like so like Aquaman and Green Arrow, when you would read them, they would only appear in More Fun Comics.
Right.
Like Marvel at the time had such a limited amount of books, and because DC printed. See, there's so much. I'm getting super nerdy, and I didn't mean to get into all this, which is why I'm just trying to
Screw you,
reel
James
back in.
Cameron.
But forget it. I just love history, and this is super interesting.
Sure.
So at one point in time, Marvel had to have DC print their books for them. Pricing had got too high, or they were the only printer in town that could, whatever it was.
Right.
And so the prices that DC was charging Marvel was trying to keep costs down so they didn't print as many titles, or no, they could only print X amount of books. So not how many books, but like, you could only have 8 books. So Fantastic Four was one, Thor was one, X-Men was one, so not every character could have
that.
one.
Yeah.
So you would have like Astonishing Tales and all these different things.
That's why they had all the compilations.
Exactly. And it would be split. And so like there's a lot of Astonishing Tales where like the first story is the Thor story, the second story is the Doctor Strange story.
Yeah.
And a lot of stuff like that. I
get
don't
that.
remember
Sure.
where I was going with all that,
I don't know.
but there's history there.
I'm going to mark this point in our podcast by telling you that Lisa Marie Presley just died.
Oh,
That's weird, right?
it is
She's
weird.
only 54.
It is. Well, it was Jeff Beck yesterday.
Yeah. They're coming for all of us.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
It always seems around like the holidays and the first
It
day of
does,
the year. a
doesn't
lot.
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's next? Because it always comes in threes also.
Well, maybe there's somebody else we just don't know.
Yeah, could be. All right.
It is
Sorry.
always threes.
Yeah.
So our
Enjoy your night. Bye.
Yeah, bye. Our second appearance of Aquaman, we get introduced to a character who will cover, or the villain that'll be the villain for the next two appearances.
Okay.
Which is a evil pirate captain by the name of, is he just Black Jack? I think he is.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that was a big deal. Captain Black Jack, yeah. So he has like a ship, and he's hired a bunch of thugs, and they dress just like pirates from back in the day. They fly like the old, isn't the Skull and Crossbones I almost said the Jolly Roger, but I don't know if that's,
Jolly
is it?
Roger,
Okay.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
They fly the Jolly Roger. Yeah. They act like pirates. They get aboard a yacht, and they essentially try to steal jewels from the yacht.
Yeah.
Aquaman fights them all off, kind of gets them to
That's
flee.
where Tom Hanks stops them, right?
No, that's the sequel.
Oh, okay.
I'm the captain now. Yeah, sequel. So
Sequel?
the sequel to Captain Phillips.
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't think there is a sequel.
No, there's not. Captain Phillips 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
This time it's personal.
So Aquaman fights off all the pirate lackeys and gives the jewels back to the yacht captain. I love this though too. It's just so funny to me that Aquaman quickly retrieves the money taken from the yacht safe, and the
Wait, how does he do that?
He steals the money back. It's like a bag.
Okay, so
And he just punches and
took
fights
a big dollar sign bag.
Yeah, essentially.
Gotcha.
And the yacht captain tells him they're running away, and he goes, and they left this too. Keep it and speed out of here safety. That's how he tells. He speaks very firmly about everything.
Yeah.
So he's not done with the pirates. He jumps back over onto their ship. He gets into a fight with them all. But what happens is, I guess he doesn't expect another door. Doors seem to be a big problem for Aquaman early on.
Well, sure, you live underwater. There's no doors underwater.
He can't get through another door, and this time a grenade or a bomb, it looks like a bomb,
I don't know what this is. Take
is
it back.
dropped in through a porthole, and the smoke causes him to pass out.
Yeah, it was. Dropped in through
This
his
time,
porthole.
he's waking up, and guess what? He's tied up again.
Oh, no.
And he's
Come
tied
on.
with iron scrap metal.
Oh, come on.
And they're going to make him walk the plank. So,
well, that's new.
yeah, but same
That's
thing.
really good, though.
But two different villains
I
who
would
have
make
both
Aquaman walk the plank. I think that's great.
I get that. That's
Yeah.
cool. But two different stories, and both villains'
Well, sure.
idea for getting rid of him is tying him up,
What the hell
tying
else you gonna
iron
do
to him,
with
and
him?
drop him to the bottom of the ocean.
What the hell else you going to do with him?
I don't know. Fly him up into the.
How are
He
you going to
can't
do
fly.
that? You're a pirate. Come on. You got limited resources.
All you got to do is push him off something really tall. Like, I'm telling you, they don't take this
Push him
into.
off something really tall.
He's tied up. Here's the thing: you can leave those irons tied onto him.
Yeah.
Like, just take him up. You are real life people. You're not pirates. Like,
Well,
you're
that's
still
true.
stuck in the 40s. I hate to tell you this, but security is a lot more lax back then at this time.
It's really hard to
So
climb
the
tall
things-
stuff with a peg leg, though.
But you could show up at a construction site probably after hours when people aren't there. Get up to the top and be like, "I've got you now, Aquaman. Leave those iron."
But you're already in the
push them
ocean.
off.
You're already in the ocean.
Here's the thing, Mike. I took care of Aquaman. You want to know who never took care of Aquaman? Captain Blackjack.
You know what I would do? I'd put his face into a engine, the propeller.
Well, that's violent.
They're done with Aquaman.
Yeah, that's very violent.
Just cut his face off.
Would Nicolas Cage and John Travolta be in it?
Let the porpoises eat him. I mean dolphin.
Damn it, Aquaman. So, long story short, he escapes from this again. This time he uses coral he finds on the bottom of the ocean to cut through the rope.
Shoots out blue smoke.
He then notices that, Captain Blackjack's ship shoots a torpedo at the yacht that's trying to, sail away.
Sure.
So he takes the torpedo, redirects it, and throws it back at the pirate ship, which explodes because of the torpedo. And that leaves Captain Blackjack and Aquaman left to fight among the sinking ship.
Captain Jack Black.
Did I call him Captain Jack Black?
Yeah.
Blackjack, Jack Black. They get into a
Maybe you
fight.
said Blackjack. I heard Jack Black.
It's fine
Yeah.
either way. Essentially, they get into a tussle, and Captain Black. Yeah, I like saying tussle.
I
Is
know,
that
it's
cool?
a good word. I like
Captain
tussle.
Blackjack is
You're not
nowhere to be
confusing
found.
tussle for anything else.
No,
You know,
I don't think
they got
so.
into a tussle.
Yeah.
Oh, do you mean they were walking to the store?
I see what you're saying.
No, it's a fight. You know,
It's kind of like
tussle is a tussle.
It's kind of like a Donnybrook. If you hear like they got, well, maybe that's a weird one.
I went to school with a kid named Donnie Brooke.
Did you really?
No.
Oh. But I'm just saying, when I hear Canadian people say, "Oh, they got to real Donnybrook," I'm like, I know what they're talking. It's the same as tussle.
And that's contextual, right? Because
That's true.
You're
Well, I hear it a lot like hockey.
Into a real Donnybrook.
Yeah, or but at the same time, I feel like it's like, oh, it's real Donnybrook. At the same time too.
Yeah.
There you go. There's a Canadian.
No
slang.
offense to anybody named Donnie Brooke
Or Brooke. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, no offense
I'm
to
assuming
everybody.
your name
named
is
Brooke.
Donald, though, right?
If you go by Donnie,
Donald Brooke.
Donald Brooke. Yeah. I feel like your middle name is probably Harold too, but
Donald Harold Brooke.
Never mind.
At your service.
It's not Donald Harold Brooke.
Donald Harold Brooke.
So, essentially, Captain Blackjack washes up on shore, and he's like, "I will avenge. You left me without a crew and boat, but I'll get you, Aquaman." So we get to our very next issue.
So it ends with him just shaking his fist at him.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, "Yeah." And the next one, Aquaman saves another guy who's a sea guy.
You can always tell when Zach loses interest.
Yeah. See, here's the thing.
But he was fighting a cool octopus.
He was.
At
So
the beginning.
He fights an octopus. Damn it.
So did James Bond.
So he fights the squid and shoves it.
Wait, did that? Oh, that's another one, right? How dare you call me a squid?
That is true. I don't know the difference.
But would he fight him?
Size. Well,
Cloaca.
No, they all have. I
difference.
think it's just size. I think
it's
squids
the
are
positioning
smaller.
of their cloaca. One of them's on the top, one of them's on the bottom. I don't know.
That sounds like a sticky wicket.
He doesn't fight those, right?
No, he shoved it into a clam, a giant clam.
Of course he
You'll
did.
see they shoved it into a giant clam.
But wait, shouldn't both of those things be his friends? They both live in the sea.
Aquaman DGAF, man.
Oh, okay.
So he does it to save this other guy whose name is
Bob
Kyoki.
Sponge.
No, Kyoki.
Bob. Yeah.
And
Kyoki.
Kyoki tells Aquaman asks, "Hey, Kyoki, what were you doing there?" He's like, "Well, I'm my people's best diver, and I was sent down there. Let me tell you the story. Essentially, everybody's got a story. His people find
He kind of looks like Namor.
he does, but his people find Captain Blackjack washed up on shore, and they sit there and they rescue him. This is just so funny to me. They sit there and they rescue him, and he goes, they tell him, "Here, poor white man, a drink of fresh water to wash the salt from your mouth. I am chief of this island and make you welcome." So it's the island people have rescued him.
Yeah.
And this is Kyoki is telling the story. And Kyoki says, "And the strange iron thing must belong to you." And he hands him a gun. Right?
I'm so sorry. I was just making
You're
sure
fine.
we were recording.
And Captain Blackjack says, "Yes, it's my gun."
Yeah.
But the other man says he's chief. And the guy says, "Yes, until someone overcomes me and takes my place.
Oh.
That is island law." And so Captain Blackjack immediately says, "If someone overcomes you, he's chief. Then I'm chief." And he shoots the guy.
Well, I don't blame him, really.
No, but I mean,
I mean,
like
those
in
are
3
shitty
panels,
rules.
But
Yeah.
in 3 panels,
Yeah.
they're like, "Hey, we rescued you. Here's you something to drink. I don't know what this thing does. I think it's yours." And he's like, "Oh, my gun." And like, they're very nice to him. And he's like, "Wait, if I get rid of him, I'm chief. Boom, I'm chief now."
Yay.
Typical bad guy.
Well, I mean, got to play by the rules that you're given.
So he finds out, Captain Blackjack or Jack Black finds out that the place they live at is known for, they live on a Pearl River. Where is this at? He finds out your fire weapon struck the chief like lightning, is what they tell him, by the way.
2 Jumanjis. 2 of them.
Yeah, what about it?
He did 2 of them.
Who did?
Jack Black.
He did do 2 Jumanji. Good for, hey, why are you hating on Jack Black?
I don't like Jumanji.
I mean, the first one wasn't bad.
No, the first one's great.
Also,
But the one that you're talking about stinks to high heaven.
you don't know which one I'm talking about.
You're talking about the second one. You're talking about the one with the rock in it.
I'm kind of,
Yeah,
I don't feel like bashing the rock right now. We'll just go on.
Yeah, I don't like him either.
You don't like a lot of things, Mike.
I know. I'm getting old.
Well,
It's the circle of life.
We'll hurry through this. I think we're all kind of
circle.
Captain Blackjack, though, uses the people to just dive and bring him pearls. Like, he's just going to get rich off all their pearls. But he's like, "These are like small pearls, man. I want you big pearls. Where are the big pearls at?"
Yeah.
And they tell him, like, oh, to get to those, we'd have to swim deeper than anybody can go. And he was like, well, I know that Kyoki's your best diver. Don't know how he knows that, but he knows that. So he's like, Kyoki.
Well, didn't he tell him that? He told him that earlier.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. You're right.
Yeah, he said, I'm my people's best diver.
I'm my people's best diver. You're correct. My bad.
Yeah.
And so, but he's like, you're going to go.
What I'm here for is to fact check.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But he's like, you're going to go get me one of those giant diamonds. And your girlfriend here.
Diamonds?
I'm sorry, pearls.
Pearls.
And I'm going to keep your girlfriend here. And if you don't come back with one, then I'm going to take care of her. Right?
I'm not really hating on Jack Black here. I think he's following the rules that are given to him.
Yes. So Aquaman's like, well, I'll take care of this. Shows up. And when he shows up, Captain Blackjack sees it's Aquaman. And he essentially just kind of sicks his army since he's the chief on Aquaman.
Okay.
So these people start fighting Aquaman.
So he shoots the guy, becomes chief, and then the army is just like loyal to him?
Well, because somebody said, I didn't include this because I forgot about it. One of the townspeople or the people there comes up and goes,
sure.
This fulfills the prophecy of the one who could control lightning.
Oh my gosh, really? That's lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It was something, I mean, I might not be. Oh, here it is. It is as foretold long ago. A bearded stranger who controls the lightning would rule Pearl Island.
Yeah, okay. All right.
And then he goes, Pearl Island? That means your waters have pearls. That's what he figures it out.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
Good
job, Jack Black.
Yeah, so he sicks the army on Aquaman and runs away to hide with Kyoki's girlfriend. Basically, Aquaman tells him, like, hey, stop fighting me. And Kyoki goes, yeah, no, he's good, guys. And like that just kind of, like I'm paraphrasing, obviously. But he goes from fighting them in one panel to them all being cool in the next panel. So it doesn't take long.
Yeah. Well, that's the power
and they
of
go,
Aquaman.
But they know him. They go, our apologies, Aquaman. And Aquaman goes, forget it. You didn't know. Whereas the sea skunk Blackjack. Oh,
sea
sorry.
skunk.
He goes, you didn't know. Where is that ski
skunk?
Thank you. So Blackjack is essentially hiding in a cave that's behind like a wooden door, right?
Well, it's doors.
And Kyoki, no, it's just one door. It looks
I'm
like.
saying for
For that, yeah. He has a problem with doors. Well, this time Kyoki goes to charge the door, but he doesn't remember that Blackjack has his gun, so he shoots him in the shoulder.
Oh no! Wait, he shoots Aquaman in the shoulder?
No, he shoots Kyoki in the shoulder.
Shoots Kyoki in the shoulder.
And he's like, anybody else who gets close, he's just like smiling. He's like, I'm just gonna shoot people when they come close.
Take out all your shoulders.
Yep, y'all have no good shoulders when you're done. Aquaman asks the people, hey, is there another way to get to him?
Everybody's just got limp arms.
He's like, hey, is there another way to get to him? And they're like, yeah, you can go around the back, but there's an evil demon shark that, that protects that way. And Aquaman's like, I got this.
This is why I don't like Aquaman.
He goes and he punches a shark and he beats him. Oh, I'm sorry. He doesn't punch him. He grabs a shell and he says, the shell, a natural dagger. Because that's what I think of with shells.
Sure.
And then he says, right in the heart. So he just grabs it and stabs the demon well in the heart.
But it's just a shark.
I'm sorry, demon shark, not demon well.
Yeah.
And then he flies up behind.
He was a composer.
And he pops up and he finds Captain Blackjack and he saves the day and he turns him over to Kyoki, who's now the ruler, like they've instilled him as leader.
Okay, sure.
And Kyoki says, oh, here we go. You have conquered the evil ruler, Aquaman. You are now chief of Pearl Island. And Aquaman says, I thank you. But the whole sea needs me. Not just part of it. The whole sea needs me. Kyoki is your bravest and strongest. Let him rule. So they make him ruler.
Okay.
And Kyoki says, my first command will be merciful. Blackjack, take a craft and leave us. We will spare your life for now. But if you if you return, you will die.
That's a bad idea.
They're like, we'll let you go. Return, you die.
You choke him on one of those pearls.
And Blackjack goes, I'm going. Glad to get out of here.
Like, well, yeah. Everything. Why wouldn't you be?
Aquaman wins again, but I'm not through. I'll get a ship, guns, men. I'll be back for Aquaman.
More fish shaking. Right?
And then it ends with this. And here's the thing, is this has not been mentioned at all, so it definitely catches you off guard. Okay. Aquaman says, well, big trouble ends in wedding.
Wait, what?
Big trouble ends in wedding.
He just says that out of the blue. There's no reference. There's no context.
Big trouble ends in wedding. I'll say aloha and get back into the water if the seven seas had nothing to worry about besides blackjack. I guess Kyoki's getting married to his girlfriend.
So.
Does not mention
Well, congratulations, Kyoki.
the last appearance we have here.
That's
of
weird, though,
Aquaman's.
right?
Yeah.
Like, it seems like there ought to be like 5 panels that you're missing or something.
And
Huh.
that's just right next to it.
Okay.
This one is another one. I'll just keep it quick because it's
Lovely
another kind of
island
weird
wedding.
one. The thing about this one that's funny is in his fourth appearance, he fights a guy and it looks like they made him a giant metal lobster
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
is what they were going for.
Well, he's like a big robot, but he's got pincers.
Yeah, this is almost kind of like it has to do with the first one of it's a shipping or a salvage crew that's there to bring a boat up that has like crown jewels on it or
A lot
something.
of these salvagers.
Because also back in the 40s, it was really cool for foreign countries to send their most prized possessions over to us to keep safe for some reason.
Sure.
Don't know why they would do that. Like,
We
hey,
did a really good job of
let's
that.
give our most valuables to somebody else that's not us. Because that's what I do with valuables to protect
What I'd
them.
like to do is to give these valuables to a country that's only been around for like 100 years. That'd be great.
Exactly. Although maybe they were like, I want to give this, and I saw this somewhere, so I'm kind of stealing it. It's not original, but I want to give our jewels to a country who has the audacity to go over to England,
Well, that's true.
and hold on, to go over to England and make everybody stand for their national anthem while they have a giant American flag on the field. And watch them play a bastardized a song about how they beat us in a war just to watch them play a bastardized version of a sport they stole from us. That takes something as a country.
Well, it either yeah.
Right.
It does.
So
It does.
maybe
You're right.
Maybe that gumption, didn't we figure out what gumption was a couple weeks ago?
Sure.
Is what led people to be like, that's who we want to watch keep our jewels.
Well, I guess so. Yeah, you want the. I mean, you want
the guys who are like, yeah, we got
They're
this.
like, screw it.
Yeah, we're going to do what we want to do. We're going to protect those jewels at all costs. Anyway, it turns out, though, that it's not. The salvage crew is led by an evil captain who has purposely sunk the ship that they're there to rescue in the first place,
Oh, wow.
just because he was waiting for the cabin boy to kind of die out. Or
These pipes are clean. You ever seen the Cabin Boy? Yeah. Okay.
I have with Chris Elliott.
Yeah.
And I always forget that Abby Elliott is his daughter, was on SNL
Yeah.
forever, too. That's her dad. But
David Letterman. Hey, you want to buy a monkey?
yeah. Forgot he was on Letterman too. He's also in Scary Movie. He's got the let me use my strong hand. Chris Elliott's great.
Chris Elliott's fantastic.
So
well, his dad was very funny too.
that's true too.
Bob and what was it? Bob and Ray? Bob and
I don't
Bob
remember the
Tom. Bob and Tom.
Yeah,
They were a comedy duo forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were hilarious.
Very
straight. Like both of them are like straight men.
Yes.
You know, they just did super dry comedy.
But still very funny. The whole family's very
All
funny.
right, so sorry.
No. This is a short one. So what happens is
Evil guy sinks a ship.
Evil guy
Waiting
sinks
for
a
the
ship,
cabin boy to
waiting
do
for
something.
waiting. No. Okay, so the cabin boy is still alive, trapped in a airtight container with the crown jewels at the bottom of wherever the ship's at. The captain is dead with the ship because, like everything, captain always goes down with the ship.
Sure.
And so the cabin boy found out from Aquaman is the only one alive. Aquaman gets to that tussle
Which
with
that's
the
a
giant.
dumbass rule, by the way.
It is.
Why would you ever be a captain?
Exactly. Well, and like I get what it is, but it's just if you think kind of of the concept, and I'm not knocking it. Like I'm not trying to be disrespectful in any way at all.
To
but
all
just
the captains out there
to
that are
all the
listening?
captains
Sure.
out there. But it is just kind of funny sometimes of me just to think of like, what was that explosion? We're going down. I guess we're staying here.
Oh, well.
It's just weird to like, like, and I get that was their decision. It's probably different back in the day than it is
It's
now.
whatever.
Anyway.
I just think it's goofy.
Anyway,
I would just stay on land.
Aquaman
I'm a
finds
great
out.
captain here. I'm good.
Aquaman finds out that the leader, the captain of the salvage boat, is really him, and some of the men are the ones who sank the ship, and they're waiting for the Navy to come up. And they were just telling him like, "Hey, we can't get this thing unstuck. Can you guys just drop some bombs down there, blast it off, and
Sure.
blast it up, and then we'll go in and just save whatever, salvage what we can of the jewels and stuff that are down there. Here's what their plan is.
Here's the way my brain works, Zach. When you said they find out that the captain's really, the first thing I thought
Nazi?
of, nope, 3 dogs in a trench coat. That's what I thought of first, like 3 dogs standing on top of each other in a trench coat.
Oh, that would have been better. But Aquaman down underneath there realizes that the anchor is just on the boat that's sunk down there. So he like helps raise the sunk boat back up. And by doing so, brings the cabin boy back up. And the cabin boy basically tells him like, yeah, he shot missiles at us and all of that. And
so
they arrest the evil
captain.
The evil captain. But here's my
So it just took a guy to go, hey, maybe we ought to move this anchor.
Well, no, Aquaman was down there. Like the thing is they were pretending that they couldn't get it stuck.
Oh,
because they couldn't get to the airtight room.
Okay,
so that's why they wanted to drop the bombs down there. So
got it.
But this leads to one of my favorite exchanges of the Aquaman things. So, and the evil captain is arrested, and the guy from the Navy is talking to Aquaman. He goes, "Wait, Aquaman, there'll be a reward." And Aquaman's response is, all we've seen this whole time, by the way, is everybody else on this wrecker ship, when the evil captain basically tells them, like, get him, they all listen. They all try to beat up Aquaman. It seems like the entire wrecker ship is evil, right? Mm-hmm. His response about there'll be a reward, divided amongst the honest men who work to raise the wreckage. Goodbye. And just jumps in. Only thing is, you're the one who raised the wreckage, so it sounds like you're just trying to do a humble brag without taking the money.
He is.
It's like, oh, there's a reward. He's like, no, divided amongst the honest men who helped raise the boat. Goodbye. And he jumps in, and the captain or the guy from the Navy is like, okay, well, oh, he did it. Like it's just like a, oh no, that's where it ends. That's the first 4 appearances of Aquaman. I don't know. We had to cover something.
No, I get
sea-bearing.
Does it ever say why he has a big A on him?
For Aquaman, obviously.
Well, yeah, I get it, but
his dad probably made it out of some scientific secret he found down there.
Yeah. Well, maybe it was the big A for Atlantis.
Oh, maybe.
You know, maybe he
it's like his team's
broke
logo.
it off a thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just slapped it on his kid.
That could work.
I really love the fact that he throws the grenade back at the guy.
I don't know what this is, but
I don't know what danger this is, but I throw it back at you.
So there you go. There's Namor and Aquaman. We looked into.
Good job with the twofer.
Yeah, there you go. Some aqua related.
I just want a shirt with Aquaman just saying no.
No.
Real big on it. Just no.
No. I know that we did a couple episodes some months back that I did nautical nonsense where we did some other sea stuff. So I'll cover these. We're probably going to stay out of the ocean for a good while. Just because it's never. I just ate. Nice. Just because it's, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot more fun stuff out there. Aquaman's great. If you like Aquaman, that's fine.
Yeah. God bless you if you like Aquaman.
I'm not going to sit here.
For somebody.
Yeah. I didn't want us to do this podcast where we just bash on things just to bash on them. You know, they're bad. Somebody likes them.
I don't want that either.
I want us just to bash on things because they're ridiculous, which is why we bashed on this.
I got you.
Not just to keep making fun of it. But so, next week, what I'm planning on doing then is I think we'll go ahead and we'll look towards the Flash, because the Flash's origin, Jay Garrick, the original Flash, is just as stupid to me. If I told you, I'm not going to tell you.
Don't tell me
what it is, but I just want you to guess right now, along with everybody else, what you think causes the Flash to get his superpowers.
You want me to guess now?
Just guess right now, and then we can revisit it next week when we come back to this.
I think it was bit by a roadrunner.
Okay. Everybody else can make theirs there. We'll look into the real origin of the Flash next week on the show. I think Mike found something very great.
This would make a great shirt with Aquaman just coming through the metal door and going, now into the open. Yeah.
Oh, there's so many great panels in there. But that's Aquaman. That's Namor.
And you didn't tell me that the cabin boy got stabbed in the back.
Oh, no.
By the evil captain guy.
Oh.
He got stabbed in the back.
I forgot about that. You're right.
Yeah.
Well, I skipped through it.
Come on.
It didn't really add to the story much. It didn't miss anything. But,
and why does this guy have a Band-Aid on his chin?
Okay. Fine. Let me explain that. Well, I didn't want to get bogged down. They can't really see. They can't see everything, so it makes it a little tough on some of them. But there is a part where
Why
when
is he
he's
in a claw
fighting,
machine?
well, that's how they bring him back up. So where he's fighting this lobster thing.
Yeah, he's fighting the lobster.
You see
robot.
where he punches him in the face here?
Yeah.
He says,
Is that the fat guy that's in the suit?
he says, if there's a chin inside, all right, he goes, if
on.
there's a chin inside this helmet, I bet I'm smacking it.
Because when you get to the point where it shows the dude,
Then-
number one, he has the cartoon Band-Aid, which is just a white X, right? on
Here's
your
the
face.
thing. He doesn't
And he's a
have
big
it.
dude.
It is. I would like to point out he does not seem to have it here and here
Yeah.
after that's happened, right?
Yeah.
He has it.
You get like
He
this
does
is-
not have it there.
This is a good dozen panels away.
And then it shows up with him finally
Yeah.
having it there.
That's after he
But
stabbed the dude in the back.
that is how Aquaman figures out. He says, that's how I knew it was you. It's because I got in the fight and I punched that thing where its chin should have been.
Oh my God! Come on.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I'm glad you left that out.
So all of those.
How fun.
That's Bros, Foes, and Heroes. So as always, appreciate you guys taking the time out to listen.
Yeah, man. Especially at this one.
Yeah.
This was a little bit of a
You know,
wanderer.
if you got
this one
like
got away from us.
if you got like 20 minutes in, you're like, I can't, I get it. That's fine. So maybe next week we'll do better.
They're not listening if they did.
Yeah, that's true.
Sure.
Well, then Jeff, if you're or
Jeff,
Fred,
come
or-
back, Jeff.
Fine. All
Now
right.
get out of here, Jeff.
That does it for us. Until next time, as always, stay safe, everybody.
Got it, God.
Bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.